Alright, let's get our thumbnail all set up for today. Let's see. Make sure we're in the Path of Exile 2 category. Let's see, where are we? This one? Is that it? No, that's not it. We don't want that one. Hold on. The hell is it? There it is. Okay. Let's make sure the sound is coming out where it needs to come out, right there. Make sure we get some music going on for me. Let's see, did I miss anything? Nope, didn't look like it. Let's get the music started. Random song. And okay. What did I sell? Oh, I sold a Metamorphosis I got yesterday for 6 div. Nice. Okay. First things first, let's see if anyone posted any Gigabows in my price range. This is up there, man. 398 to 618, bro. Oh, but he's also got a lot of the physical on it, so it's not quite as good. He's got physical runes. He's cooking the books. Let's look at the thing. 20. Yeah, my flat fizz is better. Does have a little bit better on the percent, but I don't think it's enough to spend 300 on at all. Get this one for... No. That guy's fucking cheating. If this guy had a P1 on the fizz damage at 300, I might actually consider getting that. But nope, we're not doing that shit. Not today, Satan. Okay. We need fill that up. Let's go grab our maps. At this point, we don't really need. So do we have breach splinters? We do. We've got a little bit of breach splinters. Maybe we'll run this first for a warm up. We'll hit some breach splinters. It's been a minute. I ran some maps last night, but it was kind of just whatever. I was just running like random ass maps. I was running like 12s and 14s and stuff, and I was still dropping divines, so it does happen. Okay. Let's go run to... But first, let's do this. How is that? How is it got worth just as much as a regular exalt? That doesn't even make sense, but okay. It's like very clearly exalts are less common. Like you'd think that they'd be the same price. And it's not like, and greater exalts still do have like, I guess there's like a slight difference in usage, but like, is there? Like, you definitely use exalts more for better high tier items. Okay. Yeah, righty, right. Let's go. Switch over to our main boom boom move. Styling on them. Hope everyone's been having a good week. Had a lot of fun earlier in the week, starting the monk build, or going through with the monk build, doing the campaign, getting the maps, even clearing our first map without much of an upgrade. Not sure how much more I'm going to play that this league, especially if it's something that I do decide to play next league. I don't want to, like, I don't know, get burnt out on it. I enjoy figuring things out a little bit with builds, so we're not gonna beat it into the ground like we have this build, which is definitely going to disappear. Still wondering when we're gonna start getting some news. We got some big stuff for next week. We've got the GGG live reveal in approximately, like, what is that, like a week and 12 hours or something like that, less than 12 hours, or I guess it's like a week, a little less than 1 week. We're gonna have the GGG live reveal, and with that, so like probably, what is it, usually Monday before the live reveal is when we'll get the information about the Twitch drops for the live reveal, as well as potentially a new trailer. We might get the new trailer sometime this weekend. I can't remember if they do that with the Twitch stuff, with the Twitch drops or not. Either way, we should be getting that information, plus some teasers for like skill gems and unique items and stuff. We usually get those usually within, usually like by now we should start expecting them. Any day now potentially. Thanksgiving might screw that up. It's only Thanksgiving here in America, there in New Zealand, but they do a lot of things based on like Pacific times and things like that. So maybe they're putting it off for a day or so. Maybe they're gonna do it. Maybe they're gonna drop it over the weekend. Even like Friday, or like like it'd be really cool to get some of that for our Thanksgiving. Like what? Yo, come on, double tier 1, but absolute bullshit on the suffixes. I was gonna say we could maybe try homogenizing for a third top one, but then at the bottom is still bullshit. I don't know, maybe we'll hold on to that ring for once. Let's see. 21, 22. Do I have any? I have a few of these, not enough to top it off, but let's get some more. Yeah, hopefully we get some news soon. If not, I'm sure by the latest of like Tuesday for like the Twitch drops and stuff like that. For sure that's gonna happen. Did I get anything on that? I mean, would it change the dex and int a little bit? I don't think anything else changed. Okay, well, throw it in like the pile. Okay, run another one. Yeah, man, I'm gonna miss this build. It's gonna get absolutely nerfed into the dirt. It's gonna get decapitated. It's gonna get its balls chopped off. It's done. So we're gonna enjoy it while it lasts. I think that's what I intend to do for the next couple of weeks. I don't know, maybe we'll do like some like mini campaign resets where we'll do like the first like 2 acts and decide like if we like a build or not. You know, go through everything in the first act, everything in the second act, and like Sekimas and stuff like that. Just to see how like early campaign stuff, how viable certain builds are in early campaign. I don't know. It seems kind of like I don't want to say a waste of time, but like, you know, I don't think I have too many problems actually running early game stuff, even with like a shitty build. Because I've done that. Like my first build was so bad that, you know, I died to everything a bunch of times. So like a lot of those early bosses, like I know their movesets and I can get through with a pretty terrible build. So, you know, I'm not sure how much we need to do that instead of like just wait for it for the next league. Maybe after the live reveal, we'll go through patch notes and things like that, just like everyone else on the planet will be. Go through all the patch notes, and we'll also like kind of like try to make some predictions on what's going to be strong and what's not going to be strong, and sort of like just, you know, start to decide what we're going to do for our build. For our league start. Yeah, because right now I don't really have too much of an idea of what I want to do for a league start. +3 to minion skills. Nice. You know, a lot of people are going to be playing Druid. I wouldn't mind playing Druid. But we still have to. We don't really know anything about Druid realistically, skills wise and things like that, other than it's going to shapeshift. So yeah, that's. But like everyone's going to be able to shapeshift, so it's not like that's not even like some huge huge amount of knowledge that we're going to be getting, or that we already have, I should say. I'm sure at the reveal we'll see tons and tons of skills for it, which would be really cool. Looking forward to that. Yep. We're on Delirium Splash. I'm actually close on Delirium Splash. Maybe we'll do that too. See, like 24 more Delirium Splinters. Or Simulacrum Splinters. Whatever. Okay. What the hell? Where is that? I never have that enabled. Hold on, let me turn that fucking trade chat off. Okay. Better. No idea why that was up there. Okay. Now we're gonna put on Nova. So for a big diamond. Huge diamond, come on. After this simulacrum, we'll roll some maps, buy some precursors, and we'll move on. Do like our usual 20 maps, and then we'll finish up with pinnacles and such. Yeah, we're up to 26% to 99. Don't think we're gonna hit 99 before the new league, but because it's not really a major goal, but a boy can dream. Maybe next league that'll be a goal. Kind of already is. Every league I've gone up one extra sort of level. Hey, what's up? How you doing? If you're having a great Wednesday. Just getting warmed up with some simulacrums and some pinnacles before we jump into maps. Just gonna do some maps and bullshit a little bit. Oh yeah. You guys are in the future. Tomorrow, next Thursday for us is gonna be that whole Thanksgiving. Pretty excited. Eat some food. Fall asleep early. Okay. 1 second here. But yeah, we some fun news. I purchased a gaming PC yesterday. Well, I ordered it anyway. It should be here hopefully this weekend or early next week. So, league start potentially on the PC. Should be really funny. Trying to switch to keyboard and mouse. I haven't played keyboard and mouse on a game in forever, honestly. So that's going to be really funny to see. Yeah, we had some sales, some of them Black Friday sales, as we call it. They start way earlier than Black Friday, but you know. See, I ordered one from the store last night. It's a decent rig. It's not a Giga PC or anything like that, but should be better than running on console. Yeah, I think like that would be kind of easy for sure. Like that's up there. If I suck too much with the keyboard, then I'll switch back to controller. But there's so many times whenever I'm like going through my inventory and stuff that I really want to be using. I wish I could use a mouse and keyboard, but yeah, there's a likelihood that I just hook up on a controller. That's definitely possible. That said, I'll be trying to use keyboard and mouse on as much stuff as I can. Not just in PoE, but other games and stuff. The only bummer there is I was expecting to probably get a PC like next year, but found a really good deal, and there's like all this doomer news that RAM prices are going through the roof. Like apparently like RAM prices are yeah, 2-button builds are pretty much my go-to at this point. That this build's less than 2 is a 1-button build for the most part, unless I'm bossing. Then I gotta drop some stuff, but for the most part 1-button. But yeah, there's all sorts of news about RAM prices like skyrocketing. I guess like retailers, when they're buying RAM wholesale, the wholesalers are selling stuff like at market price, like it's a lobster or something, like it's expensive seafood. So wanted to make sure I I wanted to get a PC before I got priced out of the market entirely, and then never got one. So nope. Like prices already have been like the main reason I haven't mess with gaming PCs is I used like when I was like you know, was that like probably 15 years ago now, I was all into building my own PCs and stuff, and it was so cheap. like a gaming rig. I think my first gaming rig I built, I think I built it for like $350, not including the monitor, and it was like, you know, some of the best parts that you could get. Maybe not 350, but you know what I mean. And maybe not the best, but for a first gaming rig, it was brutal. Could play anything. Now games are so demanding that you require a pretty expensive PC, and all those parts are so expensive because so many other markets, not just the gaming world, not just the PC gaming world, is all trying to get them for like animation, AI, and all these other fucking things. So cars are buying GPUs and stuff, you know, buying GPUs for their fucking screens and stuff now. So realistically, it's like the price is never. I don't think the price is going down ever. I think we're. But I'm glad to get one so that I could, you know, potentially just like upgrade it from there as needed. Keep that going. I wonder what it would be like to play this game on one of those like game pads that like some people play like, is it like fighting games on? Yeah, yeah. AI's with AI basically taking over, and every place is going to start turning to automation. Like there's just going to be such a high demand for computer components, you know. No, there's like no, the thing that I was talking about is I don't know, I've seen like speedrunners use it on different games, but it's mostly like something that fighting game uses. It's kind of like a, I don't know, it's just like a flat gaming pad. It's not like an arcade pad realistically. It's more like just a flat controller, and like the analog sticks are a lot like they're just more reactive and stuff like that. Like all the buttons and stuff are just really highly reactive. And I would just wonder if that would be something that would ever be used for something like this. And I mostly wonder if it would be a little bit better for inventory than a controller. Probably not as good as like a mouse and keyboard though. Still. I don't know, it was just something I'd seen more recently with some speedrunners playing, and not just, it's like they don't work for games where you have to move the camera basically, but they work for like 2D side scrollers as well as like fighting games and stuff often enough. I forget what they're called. To find out. Yeah, either way, now that I have a computer, I have to go through all the, or now that I have a computer on the way, I have to find all of the, I have to buy all the accessories and stuff. I don't even have like a good desk for one. Like I need like a nice desk, I need a nice, you know, I gotta get like a mouse pad, I gotta get a new camera, probably. There's gonna be some definite upgrades to the channel and stuff like that in regards to it. Oh, nice. Yeah, and I know that they were talking about doing that with PoE. Like, they were talking about with PoE 2 making it so that you could enable mouse and keyboard and controller. They were saying it was something that they wanted to get done, and they've been working on, even for console as well as PC, I think. I think that would be really awesome, and I'm here for that. If they do that, then that settles all debate, I guess, on what I'm going to do. I would just use controller for gameplay. For most gameplay, actually. There's a lot of builds where I think mouse and keyboard works better, though. Like, for instance, like being able to leap slam and actually pick where you're going to go versus just target enemies. Or, like, push a direction is kind of like... Or, like, even with this, like, being able to actually choose where you want the lightning rods to drop rather than just, like, guessing. So yeah, I guess it kind of just depends on the build sometimes. But like the hollow palm build that I was doing earlier in the week was probably just fine with keyboard, with controller. feel like controller's also nice for like quick picking up items. Oh, nice. Yeah, probably helps for placing the ballistas. Oh, is that it? I got the fucking quarterstaff? Oh, that was lame. Okay. Well, it was just a warm-up, I guess. Yeah, I think like picking up item. It's funny because like inventory management would obviously be better on mouse and keyboard, but just like raw picking things up on the ground with a controller is really nice. You can just quickly like just click on everything. It just you don't have to like target things. But I guess like targeting specific things is better on the mouse. On the mouse. Okay, where are we at here? Need some. Let's cash in on some of this delirium we don't need, so that we can. Yep, there we go. Yeah, I've definitely like made like misclicks and mistakes that I don't think I would make if I was running keyboard and mouse too. Um, just because like maybe I don't see where like my cursor is or whatever as much. Um, feel like everything is dropping in price pretty rapidly right now, at least as far as like little materials and stuff. All right, let's go with. We need a chaos orb so we can. We'll just do one of these. 75. That should be enough to buy our precursor tablets. Let's grab our delirium. Oop. Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the Switch though. Other than having to rebuy stash tabs. That's going to be a little bit rough. But you know what? I probably won't buy them all right off the bat. Like thinking about it, like there's a lot that like get totally underutilized. Like if I look at my thing now, like honestly, like I don't really use many socketables. Like I could probably get away with no socketables tab right off the bat. I could probably get away with no ritual tab. Like this is empty most of the league. There is no breach tab. Delirium, like I could probably just like use like one quad tab for all like breach, delirium, ritual, all that stuff. Yeah, because whenever you like I can transfer like my characters and everything, but for whatever reason the MTX does not transfer, which is super annoying, but I think it has something to do with just like the stores or something like that, more so than the accounts, like PlayStation Store. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, but like, um, yeah, it's a pretty common complaint. I thought so too, but yeah, they don't come over with everything for whatever reason. I've seen a lot of people talk about it that basically stash tabs and what is it like stash tabs and MTX don't come over. So yeah, that's tough, but you know, whatever. I mean, that would be a great addition to the update, is if they were like, hey, yeah, oh shit, what the hell? Good thing I didn't do these yet. Yeah, that'd be a great addition to the update. Make it so everything transfers over. That'd be 10 out of 10 change. All right. Let's look for. Yeah, it's just from consoles to PlayStation to PC, and I'm not sure if it. I think it actually does. It's fine if you go from like Steam to like their dedicated client. Um, it's just between the consoles or something like that, which is fine. I mean, like I said, it's not preferred. Obviously, I'd want to not spend the money, but at least I don't have to rebuy the game. You know, that's a plus. Let's see what we can find for tablets. Grab this one. Yeah, honestly, like low key, that would be like top of my priority, like top of my list for things that I'd like. Now that I have a new PC on the way, that would be on the top of my list for things I'd like to see in a update. Not sure if it'll ever happen though. Not sure if it's the top of their priority list, unfortunately. Yeah, true, but like at least for um, I think I can get away with not necessarily using too many of them. Like I said, a lot of the like League Mechanics ones, I really underutilize a lot of them. I think I could probably like combine them into a quad stash tab and not really be too uh, too upset about it. The ones that I'll definitely need is I'll need like trade tab, for the merchant. Um, I will need like gem tabs because those get really, really disgustingly overwhelming. Um, I mean, I might want the essence tab. I need the map tab. Map tab is a map and currency are like the non-negotiables for sure. Like I could probably get away with like a map tab, a currency tab, and then buying like the multiple big quad tabs or whatever, and then like a merchant tab. Would probably be all you'd really need. Uh, realistically, like I'd yeah. Yeah, quad tabs are nice. I only use one mostly for big dumping stuff, but like um, you need at least one big one for that. Makes getting from map to map so much faster. Let's see if I can get a 36% rare monster tablet here. 37, I'll take that. Okay, we're gonna be at over 100% rare monsters. Nice. Have to double check I think I checked my Atlas tree yesterday, but I'll double check it. Oops, don't need that tree. Need the other tree. Yeah, that's pretty standard. Yeah, maps is huge. The maps and the gem tabs are totally required, I think. I think gem is probably like the first one. The gem and like they're required almost pretty much from the start, you know? Like from the very start of the campaign, you kind of want them because you tend to get like a decent amount of gems. Switch over to Fork for Headland. But yeah, I definitely, and you know, they might come out with more stash tabs with the new league. They didn't come out with any stash tabs this league, which I was super surprised by. Surprised we didn't get breach tabs. Surprised we didn't get expedition tabs. Though I gotta say, like right now, I'm not interested in any expedition tab until expedition actually becomes like enjoyable. Like as far as like, because like I don't even pick up the artifacts. I think most people filter the artifacts out at this point. I think that's like mostly how people have been setting up their item filters even, so. Right. Yeah, we need more gold sinks. I guess like people find gold sinks in like the currency market flipping and stuff like that, but yeah, I've got a ton of gold. So my gold's down a little bit because I found 2 Ventor's boxes yesterday, ran them both, got absolutely nothing from them, hilariously enough. I mean, as expected at this point. I don't think I've ever gotten anything that's like truly awesome from one. I think maybe one divine once, you know. But yeah, 4 million gold yesterday for, I don't know, like 10 greater transmutations or something like that. With the, what is it? The other thing that's like annoying about the artifacts is that you can't even sell those for gold. Like they're literally just like you can only use them for recombination, and honestly like most people are just like using, you know, broken circle ones for like rings. You know what I mean? Like they like most of them like pile up for and have like almost no use in general. Like I'm really hoping that they're able to rework rework the expedition. Nice. Yeah, I ran like a tier 12 yesterday and I got a div on like a sand spit or something. I was just like running random maps. Bunch of nonsense. Yeah, they're litter. They're literally like ground trash. I'm really hoping for some big maybe not like big changes, but I'm hoping for some changes to Expedition this league. Like I think that like at minimum, I think they could at least add like small stacks of Expedition splinters to them, right? Like I feel like that's like not even like a big like ask, being like getting like 1 to 5 splinters occasionally from an Expedition chest. It's the only mechanic where you can't get the splinters from maps. You have to go to logbooks for, which I think is just like kind of stupid. Because like logbook RNG is pretty bad until you get points put into it, and it's still pretty bad even when you do get points put into the mechanic. Everything about Expedition is ass, honestly. Recombination sucks. Like I'm not saying there's no use for it. There is use for it, but it's like very niche use for crafting certain items. Like I think people have said it's good for crafting like wands. You can like put or something like that. Like there's a few things that it's good on crafting, but like for the most part, it's like the worst art. It's not all that good, and it has like the worst RNG in the game. Like it's okay if you want to like mix like a tier 1 and a tier 3 or a tier 4, but once you try to get like a 2 is sometimes will recombinate. A 1 and a 1 never recombinate. Yeah, no, I hate recombination. I think recombination needs fixed more than anything. Like even if they added like some sort of a currency sync, like if you could add currency to it to increase your odds a little bit, whatever. And like if they keep adding other means of crafting that are like good, like the abyssal crafting, then you don't need recombination almost at all. Like it totally invalidates it. Like because recombination, you end up with what is it? With recombination, you always end up with a uh, you always end up with a rare, right? So like you basically invalidate the ability to use like the homogenizing exalts, which are enormous this league. So like so like using one is like counterintuitive to a lot of the better crafting means. Overall, yeah, Expedition needs reworked. The only reason Expedition is valuable is because Olroth's flasks. There's one lineage support gem, which I don't think is like the main reason. I think it's mostly Olroth's flask that is like sustaining people's runs, and like splinters. And the only reason splinters are high in value is because you can't get them on maps. Like you just can't get. If you could get them on maps, it would bring the cost of them down immensely. At least, and like by immensely, I don't mean like it's gonna like break the market. It's simply gonna put them their value in line with all the other splinters that you can get. But yeah, like last league, I think I ran like I was just messing around trying to learn about the odds and recombination, and I tried to recombine something like 12 focuses, and I got none of them to go, and they all had like 20 to 30% odds. Which I just thought that I was like, that feels so bad to like, because I had to keep going and like buying artifacts because I didn't have infinite artifacts. I don't think anyone has infinite artifacts unless you buy them or you pick them up but for the most part they're ground trash. Um, so yeah, it just feels bad, bro. It's definitely one of the, and I'm sure that they have data. I'm sure that they've followed the data, and it should say their data should conclude to them that recombination is ass, and maybe like you know maybe it's kind of along the lines of what they want. They don't want it to be too powerful. I always hear people say stuff like that, like, oh, we don't want certain things to be too powerful. I guess like I was watching Darth Microtransaction, and he's mentioned a few times, he's over on Twitch, that he brought it up to them that it should, if you recombine two things successfully, that maybe it should recombine them into a magic item, which I think would be at least better as far as like your options to continue to craft on them. And the developers, the directors' response was effectively that that was too powerful. So like, I don't know. I don't know how they feel about recombination. It feels like a wasted opportunity though. I was really excited when they announced it. It seemed like something that was really cool. But yeah, it hasn't lived up to any of the expectations that I had. I hate when it feels like I'm trying to fight like a mechanic like that, like a machine. Like it feels like, and I feel like before this league, all crafting felt like that, and now crafting with the abyssal stuff feels a little bit better. It's still like a little bit of a fight, but it feels a little bit more fair. But the recombinator feels like an absolute slaughter. It feels like a fight. It feels like they don't want it to work. Because if it worked at too high of odds, then it would be too powerful, right? I guess, but at that point, it's like, why even have this in here? If people getting what they want is going to be too powerful, it seems like kind of a wasted thing to have it all. I wouldn't mind if they made like a currency sink though into it, you know, put some divines in there and increase your odds, maybe. You'd have to be a little bit more selective about what you tried. But yeah, the only thing I knew somebody who was like they were crafting a lot of wands last league, and they'd use it for wand crafting. It was like basically their first step. Like they would get, and it wasn't they weren't crafting like mirror tier wands, but it was basically the way to craft like a wand that they could get like 10 to 30 div out of if everything else went well on it. Which is really good, especially earlier in the league. But once everyone started to get like better gear, like best in slot gear, it kind of fell off and was no longer valuable. So like even recombination in that regard had kind of a limited capacity. I think if you got it earlier, like if you got it right from the start of the game, it could be useful because then you could do it with like items that you get from vendors and things that you find on the ground to get like just stuff that's viable for the campaign. I did that last league whenever I made a build. Oh shit. Like I started a build and just took all, and you could access the recombinator in your hideout, so I just took a bunch of stuff that I bought from the vendor into my hideout, and I just recombinated like a +1 melee skill spear, like, you know, boots with a little bit of movement speed on them, and that was awesome. That felt really good because there's such low tiers at that rate that it's basically 100%. You basically have 100% chance to recombinate anything. So yeah, that felt pretty good, honestly. But yeah, of all the endgame mechanics that currently exist, so like not anything new that they would be introducing, yeah, I think that it's a no-brainer that Expedition needs the most work. I think people completely avoid it, like the cost of no one wants an Expedition precursor tablet. Nobody wants, you know, they only want the splinters so that they can try to get, so they can fight Aura, so they can try to get a flask or potentially that one jewel that's extraordinarily rare. But that jewel is so rare that I don't think you can really target it. It's like the same odds as like the old Natals from. That's great. The old Natals one from Zesht, which I have yet to see, and I've fought Zesht a million times, it feels like, at this point. Yeah. But yeah, as far as like other mechanics go, I don't think too many of them like I think Ritual's in a place where it's fine. I think that Delirium and Simulacrum are pretty much fine. I think Breach is mostly fine, but I think Breach could use expanded on. Just because we know that there's more lore to it, not just from the PoE 1 league that's currently going on, but if you've talked to, like, what is it, Zolan and Zelena, or one of them, I can't remember which one, in your hideout, they kind of, they allude to a lot of the lore. Like, they say that the Zesht that we fight isn't like the real Zesht. They say that there's, you know, 4 other generals or something like that, 4 other bosses, which we now know exist in PoE 1. So I feel like that one doesn't necessarily need that right now, but like knowing that it exists and that they can expand on it, like that would be a nice thing. Like I said, I don't really think there's too many places to go with Ritual right now. I think it's decent. You do the Ritual, you get an Omen, if you're lucky. It seems like that's pretty much all, the only place that one's gonna go for now. As far as league mechanics, I was expecting Delve to be like a common one that people thought was going to drop into the next league. I still think it's like it has a decent likelihood of dropping, but the more I think about it, especially with the title, like, I feel like with the title, being more or less druid based, that there's a higher probability that we get something that's like a druid based mechanic. And the only thing I can think of that would really fit in directly thematically with the druid would be Bestiary from PoE 1. Feels like it could be a likely. Yeah, shield wall looks good. If it doesn't get tapped, we'll see. They've done a good job at nerfing something about the warrior every time. So, dude, the Hollow Palm Monk was brutal. It was really fast through the campaign, I thought. I had no problem with Hollow Palm Monk. And I didn't really stop too much to like upgrade gear as much as I should have or anything like that. I made some like bigger upgrades like in between like my first and second stream on it. But they weren't huge. I think I only spent like, you know, maybe 50 exalts total. I did not spend a lot on them. And honestly, like I could have crafted most of it. Like at the end, my end gear was almost all crafted stuff, or it was like stuff that I hadn't changed in like 20 levels, 25 levels or something. Like I think my rings and my boots and my gloves were like level 36 or 38, and like the only thing I changed at the end was my chest piece for more evasion. That was a really nice build, really smooth. If they add a martial artist ascendancy or an ascendancy that's going to improve that build at all, that's going to be really nice. It's going to be really strong. It's already really strong. The only thing that like needed sorted more was like more defenses in regards to life, whether it be life regen, max life, or just better evasion. Like I think eventually though, like if I would have taken that build further, if I would have taken it to like you know, if I were to go and get it to like level 85 and then like buy like that level gear for it, I think it would have been an absolute juggernaut of a build. Hey, that's a good one. Let's see, can we get a good A? That's not bad. Let's see, what do we got for essences? Anything good here? Grounding, maybe? Yep, we got a grounding. Okay, could be better, but let's go with one of these. One of these. Oops. Okay. Let's see if we can get another good. I mean, like it's not no one's looking for a chest piece now, but I feel like this is not a bad little tutorial, little how to. I mean, Fire and Chaos isn't bad. Let's just take Fire and Chaos. I mean, that's pretty good, honestly. It's basically like a mediocre quadres. Mediocre is emphasis on that. Now let's get a. We might as well have fun with it. Damn, it went up in price. What the hell? It went up like 5 chaos since yesterday. Yep. Yeah, I'm hoping that we still get some level of abysses that we can get onto maps, whether it be through a precursor tablet or some sort of an item, because the abyssal crafting stuff is really nice. Even like kind of like the low end stuff, like I just use like, you know, low end shit for the most part to craft with. That would be super nice. Let's see. Go boom. Put this over here. This over here. Okay, we hit the fucking life roll, unfortunately. But I mean, you know, not terrible. I'm just making sure, you know, now that I know, like, even, like, some basic crafting, I feel like that's going to greatly benefit me, both in profit and for my own characters next league. Just knowing how to sort of, like, slam stuff on the go and actually get something out of it. I mean, like, basic crafting, like, for body armor and helmets is pretty easy. Um, Especially if you're using, like I said, if you're using the desecrations. And honestly, boots were really easy. Like, making horror boots was really easy when with the desecration and crafting. Gloves were a little bit of RNG, but they weren't hard. I haven't really done any jewelry crafting though. And helmets and chest pieces are basically exactly the same thing to craft. Like, they don't really have too much variation between them. At least, like, depending on what you want on them, of course. But for the most part, they're not too restrictive. Let's see if I can get a third socket, we might have something. Nope. You got more chaos res though, so, like, you know, you can't sneer at that. 28 chaos res, 37. You know, it's something. You know, throw it in here for some chaos orbs. Maybe someone will buy it. I don't think anyone has any. Well, I mean, like, I guess, like, maybe if someone's, like, doing a new league and they're just or new league start, kind of just practicing, like, maybe someone will pick that up real cheap. All right, let's see. Anything else good? Okay, so I don't see any more +1 nonsense. So we're just gonna go straight here. Yeah, crafting isn't too bad. I learned most of the crafting that I did from just running what is it, Fubgun. Now if you go to his, if you like Google like Fubgun's crafting guide or whatever for 0.3, he has, like, it's all for obviously targeted for lightning arrow. But I feel like I use a lot of the concepts from that just to work kind of in general. And I'd say, like, the biggest thing to study otherwise is to go on to PoE2 DB and basically, like, look at the mods something has and learn about, like, how the tags and the weights work. Honestly, once you learn about tags and weights and, like, how to use the desecrations to, like, block things, it gets a lot easier. I'd say right now the only thing that, like, really sucks to craft are bows, because the problem with bows is that everything has, like, an attack tag. So, like, everything has an attack tag, and all the best stuff is, like, is so disgustingly the weights on all the good mods are so lightweight, even compared to other high-end pieces of gear that you're trying to craft. Like I think if you actually run the numbers, like, to get a tier 1 flat fizz and fizz percentage, it's like 1 in 4,000 or something like that. Like, you basically have to run like 6,000 chaos orbs and just pray that you're gonna get, if you wanted flat fizz and fizz percent in tier 1. And you need to do it on like a level 82 eye level 82 item. So, like, it's just like, I gave up on that. I thought about doing it. I got, like, you know, probably like 30 divine in, and then I was like, you know what, this is actually just miserable. I was like, this is pretty demeaning. I was like, for the amount of money that I'm spending, I could probably just, I can just buy one. Like, and, like, I have a lot more fun just playing the game versus sitting in my hideout slamming stuff with Chaos Orbs until I run out, and then having to go get, like, you know, 20 more Divine to slam some more Chaos Orbs. Some people like that, though. Not for me. I guess I probably would mind it less in, like, the end of the league. But, I mean, you definitely can save stuff, especially, like I said, like, the crafting for boots and gloves was pretty easy. I think I spent, like, early in the league when horrors and stuff like that were more, hysterias and horrors were more expensive, I think I spent maybe 16 Divine on my boots, and they were probably worth, like, 60 Div when I was done with them. Like, and they were, you know, 60% movement speed, and... Or maybe they're 50%. Maybe I didn't get to the 60, but regardless, they were damn good. You know, they were better than anything you could get, just from slamming or, like, you know, whatever. They were kind of worth it. And I lucked out on my gloves. I just upgraded my gloves, though, you know, a couple weeks ago. But before that, I ran the same gloves for most of the league, and basically all tier 1 stuff except for, like, one affix. Yeah. Well, and it depends, because, like, we're not going to get abysses on every map. We're not going to get them probably in the campaign at all. So, like, we're not even necessarily going to be able to use what we have now, unfortunately. Get out of the stupid thing, bro. There we go. Oh my god, there we go. Echoes, at least. Dude, we are over a month without getting an Ancient Bone. That's literally crazy. It's not like I'm not playing this game. I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to getting a new league mechanic. I liked Abyss. Abyss was cool, but having not really put the game down for pretty much the entire league, I'm looking forward to something else being on the maps. And I'll be honest with you, that makes me think that that's like the #1 thing that makes me think that it's not going to be Delve that ends up coming into the new league, is because, like, you know, there's nothing to put in the maps and in the campaign zones. Unlike Bestiary, which is, you know, used in PoE 1, and I think it ties really well to the Druid. I think it ties well to the Ritualist in the Amazon, actually, too. Yeah, mostly what I like about the Abyss is just, like, getting some, like, you know, effectively, like, high rarity chests in the coffers, and the monsters seem to just be pretty juicy as far as what they drop. But I think we can get some of the same stuff out of Bestiary, most likely. It was one of the only mechanics I really engaged with in PoE 1 when I played for, like, one day this league. Oh! What was that? Was that literally just the lightning? Oh my god. Oh jeez, guys. I think that was literally just the lightning from that thing. I think I was just standing so close to it that they all just, like... I don't know. Oh well. Better go buy another amelioration. Not that I... You know what? Honestly, I'm not going to buy another amelioration. I know I'm not going to make it to 99 this league. That ain't happening. I'm only playing basically what I play on stream. So there's just almost no likelihood that's going to happen. Let's see, what else do I normally have? Oh, the amelioration. If anything, I want... The only reason I really want something there is so I can activate it, and or so I can just have something there. Oh yeah, and that's been around since, you know, Diablo 2. Diablo 2 would tell you what killed you. I don't know why that they haven't done something like that sooner, honestly. I feel like that's almost like it's like a no-brainer, but also it's like one of those things that like I don't think that like I think people would almost be like, yeah, like they're not going to get like kudos for putting that in. They're just gonna it's just kind of like an expectation. So like I don't know, I'm not sure how much they feel like they get out of putting something like that in. But I do agree. I mean, I think that was the lightning, though. I think I just stood so close to the lightning that I probably just took like 40 of those lightning balls in a second. Also, let's call that out. Like, I don't think it's annoying that I didn't know what killed me. I kind of know what killed me. What's annoying there though is that those simulacrum things pop up long after the rare monster dies. You could actually, if you killed a rare monster off screen, go around and clear the rest of the map and come back to that spot where you killed that rare mob that had that on it. It'll still pop off. Like that. That's so stupid. It's like whenever you kill something off screen and then like you come back to the same area like, you know, several minutes later and their body like explodes like you just killed it. It's like, what is that? You know, it doesn't that's the type of stuff that feels like it feels shitty. Like it doesn't feel like that is a conscious choice. It feels like a side effect of how the game is made more than anything to me. Divine Shrine. That could have been deadly. Yeah, that type of stuff feels like just a side effect of the game. Yeah. At this point, I don't even know why I pretend to care about my experience. Like, I thought about it for a second. Like, if I really wanted to grind, I could make it to 99. But like, I don't really want to grind. I just want to come on, do like, you know, 20 maps a day, do a couple pinnacles, and hope for something good to drop. Like, I'm not really like expecting like to drop if I dropped a mirror, I'd be more excited. Obviously, like that's the only thing that's really motivating me at this point. Like, not is like the possibility that something big can drop. The idea of like getting to level 99 doesn't really push me up, let alone like maybe if I was trying to get to 100, but I don't foresee that being like something I try to do either. That seems like also like a pain in the ass. I've known people that have made it to level 100, and they even after they said that like it was miserable and they'd never plan on doing it again. None of them said it was like worthwhile and that they enjoyed doing it, or that they're happy that they did it. Most people were like, yeah, that was just a waste of time. I didn't have anything else to do at the time. The only reason I kind of thought about getting to 99 is because like I know where I would put the passive point. Like I'm like, oh, if I put this passive point here, it will actually give me a boost. Right? Yep. Yeah. Elon's maps. That's why we dedicate our maps to Elon. The original. Yeah, there's just like mostly no need. Like passive points aren't like, unless you could get to like some massive, you know, like keystone or something. I agree. No, yeah. So I don't think it got me necessarily fully into PoE, but when I heard about it, it definitely it drew more attention to PoE for sure. Like hearing about that drew more attention to PoE, and I thought that, and that's pretty much whenever I started actually paying attention. Actually, like, I had purchased PoE 2 before that. Like, I think it happened a few months after PoE came out, PoE 2. And I had purchased it, and I played a little bit. I played through the campaign and everything, but I wasn't, like, into it. But then when I saw those stories start to go around, I was like, oh, maybe I'll pick it up again. So, like, yeah, you kind of can credit Elon for me continuing to play it more and playing as much as I do now. In a very weird way. Oh yeah, and then like what is it? When was it 0.2? Whenever he was playing hardcore and he couldn't beat the Miller, there was like he was trying to beat the Miller and kept dying in hardcore and had to restart like a bunch of times and like rage quit on like when he was like streaming on X or whatever. That was pretty funny as well. Hilarious how Elon Musk probably did some of the most effective marketing for the game simply by being you know, kind of an asshole about it, you know? I don't want to say an asshole totally, but like, you know. I've definitely spent, you know, a few $100s in the game, couple $100. They got $100 from me in turn because Elon Musk played the game in some way or form, or at least he said he played the game. Who even knows at this point? Yeah, I don't even know what his like actual involvement would have been. Like I don't know. And like the more you know about it, like I haven't actually thought about it in quite some time, but like I remember people saying like how if you actually looked at like the stuff that he got, there's like no way that he would have been able to, like he thought that they were like, you know, low level items or whatever and they weren't that good, the things that he had, but like he just didn't understand what the items were and how rare the affixes were and everything. And I guess the more you know about that now, especially like once you get into crafting and stuff like that, you know how rare certain affixes are, right? It makes even more sense that he probably didn't play the game. You know what I mean? Because you could try to craft all day and not get some of the affixes that he had on his maps, or on his not his maps, his gear. You can craft all day and not get that. You can craft all League and not get some of that stuff. Nope. You got an overrun. Yeah, he's got the labor force to do it for sure. Just pull aside a couple of his couple low-wage workers and be like, hey, you want to make a few extra bucks? Play this video game. I'm sure that they're gonna jump for that opportunity. I mean, shit. If he was like, hey, here's some money to get a character to 99, or to get to level 100, I'd be all over that shit. I play this game for free. I pay to play this fucking game, effectively. If he was like, just grind packs, like if he was just like, just grind until you get to level 100, I'd be like, absolutely, just run some pack size maps every day with experience, fucking tabs, like, oh yeah. I think Apple, like was the innovators of putting those nets down. It's like Imagine like buying nets and being like, who's the market for making those nets? Is that like, do they buy them from like the same company that like puts nets down for like circus trapeze people? Like, is that their supplier, the circus? I'm trying to think who else would, who else jumps into nets from really high up for like a job, and it's only like trapeze artists from the circus. Tightrope walkers. You're right. Yeah, I don't even know what a living wage in China is at this point. I mean, like, I don't know, like, comparatively what it would be like to a living wage here. I feel like a living wage in America is probably expensive to pay. Like, I mean, for the most part, like, fucking shit. I mean, like, people pay all sorts of money to buy products and everything, so I'm not saying they can't afford them, but, like, with the cost of everything that goes up as high as it does, like, you know, a living wage is insane. Like now, it should, and you know, that there's all sorts of fucking issues with like inflation and all that stuff, housing market stuff. You know, I feel like whenever this conversation is probably brought up more commonly, like 10 years ago, it would have been like, you know, cheaper to pay a living wage to people here. But now it's like, now it's actually a concern. Now it actually is a concern for people to be able to pay a living wage because everything is so fucking expensive. I think I saw like the cost of a house in the U.S. doubled in the past decade. Like it went from $200,000 to like for a starter home to $400,000 for a starter home, which is actually crazy. Crazy to think about. Like I like sometimes I look at like, you know, people in my family, like my aunts and uncles and parents and stuff, and how much they paid for houses throughout their lives, and like most of their starter homes were like $80,000 to $100,000. Some of them even less than that. Yeah, now it's pretty wild. I don't think anyone like, and it's also like sometimes I think about it in the context of like, you know, when I went to school, like elementary, middle, high school, you know, grade school, like I didn't know almost anyone that grew up in an apartment. You know what I mean? Like everyone lived in a house, even like, you know, people who were probably like, you know, more closer to the poverty line. They were all housed in houses. Now it's it's fucking uncommon almost. Like unless you live in an area, unless your like school is in an area that's just suburbs and doesn't even have apartments, like for the most part, it's everyone's living in apartments. Growing up in apartments would be weird to me. Cool. You got a div out of that map at least. Yeah, the China living wage and economy's got to be a little bit wild. What do we got going on? Confluence, reduce quant, rupture, epitaph. Oh man, epitaph, my least favorite map. Let's run it. Where are we at? Our splinters 48, 174. Okay, we're on track. Hold up, I got an email. Let's see. No. You gotta keep checking on my the computer I bought. It's like when I bought my computer, It was like pick up in store, but then they were like immediately out of stock, and then they're like pick it up on Sunday. So now I'm just like waiting to hear back about when it's gonna be ready. Oh yeah, Apple's insane. Yeah, I kind of despise Apple products. Like I know that a lot of companies, a lot of tech companies are shitty, but I just hate Apple. Like their stuff is expensive for almost no reason. I had an Apple when I was in college because I went to school for like graphic design and stuff like that, web design, all that fun stuff. And I had one just basically because all the school computers were Macs, and I just didn't want any compatibility issues with anything ever. But like, and you know, and I regret it every day. Not because it didn't work. I mean, it worked just fine, but it didn't work any better than another computer. It was literally just something I bought just so we didn't have any compatibility issues. Like, because I saw, like, I had friends that were like, no, I hate Macs. I'm not going to buy a Mac for school. And they would always end up like turning shit in late because they'd come in and like their files just wouldn't load up on the Macs that we had in class. Oh shit! Oh shit! Those fucking owls, man. Did you see that? It just fills. Look at that! It just fills the whole area with. Look at that! How you supposed to get out of the way of that? I'm surprised that did not kill me. Did I? I was gonna say it didn't even trigger my resurgence. I thought it would have triggered. Where's my? There you are. Wow. Okay. Survived that. Okay, suddenly I'm not on my row again. What the hell? I've seen a lot of people say that they're gonna nerf the Roa. I hope not. That's insane. That's actually insane. Yeah, Macs are pretty bunk. They're pretty dumb. It's like, it's weird too because it's like a status symbol. Like people just want them because they're Apple products. There's like this Apple aesthetic that people just fucking can't get over. I'm just like, what do you mean, plain and boring? They're like, I don't know. I'm not a fan. And like, you know, I've had the same. I have like a Google phone, and you know, you can say what you want about Google, but this phone is like fucking 4.5 years old or some shit, and it's working just as well as it ever did. I have no problems with this Google phone. People who buy iPhones, they're buying new phones for, you know, thousands of dollars every year, it seems like that. I feel like all tech companies now do a sort of like planned obsolescence thing with their products. Like they plan for them to go obsolete within a certain amount of time. But I feel like Apple is definitely like more egregious when it comes to that. Seem to do it a little bit more often. A little bit like their lifespans are like shorter, even though the products are supposed to be better somehow. Like the products carry like a premium price tag, but they don't have like a premium lifespan. Yeah, yeah. Like yeah, I still have my map too, my iMac that I had for college, and that thing is so slow. Like just turning it on, it reminds me of like trying to turn on like a computer from like '98. Epitaph never stops being disappointing. Let's see what we got on here. Let's hit this breach. Pull up your britches. We're doing breaches, guys. It's funny with the prices of RAM going up. Like I saw a bunch of articles on it, and I saw like people commenting, like on social media, who were saying like, "Fine, look at like effectively like this sort of validates consoles, you know, in a way." And I play consoles. Like I'm playing a console right now. I have no problem with consoles. But like if those people don't think that the cost of consoles is not going to go up because of the fucking RAM cost going up, they're absolutely crazy. Like the next generation of consoles is going to be $900 or some shit like that. Like honestly, like I'd be surprised if the cost of like the Steam machine isn't being reevaluated as we speak. Like whatever they had planned on making it, like I wouldn't be surprised if it went up just due to those costs. It's annoying because like I don't really mind AI, but like the thing that I don't like about it is it makes it's making tech stuff more expensive, that's ass. Like how like basically it makes engaging with things that use AI harder because it's raising the prices. It's pretty fucking lame. Yeah, I tend to use AI pretty often. I don't really use Apple products much, but I use I use AI for a replacement for Google in a lot of ways at this point. Like I know when like there's some points you need to use a search engine, there's some points AI works, but like AI can be pretty helpful. I think, as much as like AI can be is people looking at it as like it's some sort of a problem, I think the AI doomers are just as big of a problem. Like AI isn't coming. You're not going to stop it. AI is here, like people thinking like, oh, we need to fight back against AI. It's like, no, AI is already here, guys. Like you can't really fight it now. The time to fight AI has passed. Should have been doing that like 10 years ago. At least 5 years ago. Yeah, no, he did. He definitely did. I do think it could be mostly utilized for good things, though. But, we're humans. Humans don't do that. Humans like to fuck shit up. But, like, it's so much, I'd say, like, AI is, like, it makes something so much more efficient. Certain amounts of information, just like, organizing information in a lot of ways. Things like that. Gathering large amounts of data that you've already taken and putting them in order. Or like if you have like a bunch of notes and stuff on a topic and you want them organized into something that's more usable. Like you can use it, like that's just like the tip of the iceberg, I guess, you know, in a lot of ways. That's just how like anyone could use it. But obviously there's like, oh, look at that. Bam, that's why you hit every fractured mirror. Those fractured mirrors have gold in them. There's gold in them hills. Yeah, I think the most common ways that I drop divines are fractured mirrors and abyssal monsters. But I think not just fractured mirrors. I should just say delirium in general, because I get a lot of. I feel like I get a lot of drops from like omniphobia and Kosis. I feel like as much as like delirium is annoying because it makes everything on a map look ugly, it is the best way to juice your maps and get... Where the fuck is this thing? Oh, there he is. Give me my fractured orb, you stupid fucking turd. Yeah, AI is like pretty powerful. Like it makes in the sense that like it gives a lot of power to like normal people who maybe aren't like super I don't want to say smart, but like not super like like if you were to look at like art or something like that. Like obviously like AI doesn't like produce art or whatever, but like if you had like an artistic idea, like it does a good job at like processing information to make that more of a reality, make it more attainable. I've seen people who have like who are good artists, who use AI to like animate their already good art. Hey, second div or face mask. No, fuck that stupid face mask. I think I've got 2 of those in my goddamn inventory at this point. Dumb. Why does it keep tinking? Does anyone actually use that thing? Anyone use the fucking face mask? Or the face mask users in the room? Yeah, it gives a lot of power to ordinary people to do things that are creative and of higher intelligence than maybe they were capable of before. Twilight Reliquary Key, I'll take that. Okay, we're down to no monsters left on the map, really. What's this? Oh, we got... Oh man, 350 tribute, that's us. Maybe I could just checkpoint to the next one at least. Yeah, that's all I plan on using my PC for, is just gaming. I don't have too much else I need to do with it. I don't really do the design and web design stuff anymore at this point. And even so, like, well, that doesn't take too much processing power. You could argue that like some of the design programs do, but it's like not as much as like a gaming computer takes. Oops. Nice. Yeah, I think was it the PC I got? It's not some Giga PC, but it's got a 5060 Ti, NVIDIA 5060. Is it I think the 32 gigabyte or whatever. Pretty solid, especially for the price. Like I said, I definitely wanted to pick up something just before the prices of gaming PC just become unaffordable. You know, it's probably not going to be able to like, you know, stream Wukong in 4K or like these fucking Unreal games that make your GPU chug. But it should be fine for PoE 2 for the most part and other games. I don't play a lot of really intense graphical games every now and then, but even like the ones that I do, not so much. Like, I feel like is it like Expedition 33 has like, you know, uses Unreal, but since it's like more turn-based, basically, you know, it's a turn-based game, it just doesn't like use as much resources as like something like Black Myth Wukong or something like that. Some of these other games. Is it I never did beat yeah, NVIDIA was an issue. I think in 02 it was pretty bad, but I think that some of the drivers and stuff got fixed up more or less to the point where they're not as much of an issue, but yeah, I've heard that. I think it was like a specific model and everything as well. We'll see. We will see. I feel like a lot of that stuff is pretty circumstantial too. Like I feel like it's not like everyone with the same graphics card tends to have issues. It's got to be like a combination of issues, you know? I feel like if it was everyone who had like the same graphics card that was having the same issue, that would be like I don't know, just something a little bit more obvious to fix maybe, and something that maybe wouldn't just be isolated to PoE 2. Like I don't know how PoE 2 has honestly as many issues as it does with optimization. Who knows? Maybe they'll clean stuff up coming into 0.4. Maybe that'll be one of the announcements we get next week. We actually tried to optimize the game. I know that they said they weren't going to really put too much effort into that until full release, but god damn, it would be nice, wouldn't it? Give me your orb, you stupid bitch. Yeah, I heard about the NVIDIA thing, but I think that there was like some sort of driver update or something at one point that seemed to have fixed it for most people. I definitely heard that. I heard that a lot lastly, or in 0.2. I had some people who are in my guild who had some real issues with their drivers and with their NVIDIA stuff. I just haven't heard as much of it this league. Wasn't sure if it was like totally fixed or those people literally just quit the game forever. So, back on the topic of AI real quick, a lot of people I've seen, you know, a lot of naysayers will say stuff like, well, all it does is like use information that's already available on the internet, and it's like, it's true. That's like largely true in a lot of cases. But like, you know, if you ask it a question and you see it, like you can see it, like, you know, doing its like quote unquote thinking, you can see it like searching, like, oh, it's checking out like 30 websites all within like a couple of seconds. It's like, I can't do that. I can't check that many websites that that fast. I'll definitely defer to AI to look stuff up like that. All right, let's see where we're at. See where we are at with splinters. Okay, 255, so we just need 45 of those. And Delhi will need 70 some, okay. So 45 splinters here. Let's go do some breach. Oh yeah, no, okay, so whenever I started streaming again, because I used to stream just not very like seriously, I would ask Grok, like, you know, its thoughts on like, you know, should I stream on Twitch, should I stream on YouTube, why should I stream on Twitch, why should I stream on YouTube? You know, I'll ask it like things that I maybe should use for like tags on videos and things like that. Like it's, you know, and a lot of times it gives me like kind of weird answers, but a lot of times it just gives me, you know, it puts me in the pocket. You know, it gives me something to think about in a lot of ways. It's like I don't necessarily follow it word for word on everything. You know, I think you know that's in like that's like the human part of it. You know, that's the human part of what we should be doing. You know, we should be able to ask it questions based on stuff that we want to do, and then determine for ourselves like what the best course of action is. You know, like I don't think that like it's intended to give you like the perfect answer all the time, but it can also like if you did follow it, maybe it says like these are the exact tags, this is the title you should use for a video, and this is what, you know, the content should be in the video and everything. I think if you do that enough, like it feels like fake, you know what I mean? Like it's going to feel a little bit fake. You want to insert a little bit of human interaction to make things feel a little bit more relatable. So I think that that's like just how some people need to look at it a little bit more, especially the people who are like anti-AI, is that like, you know, a lot of the people that are pro-AI aren't necessarily looking at like having AI totally take over their lives, but like using it freely all the time, like is going to give you like a huge advantage, especially when it comes to like time and efficiency. Because like I don't have to like sit there and think about things. Like for instance, like if I'm doing, you know, a subathon for the new league, you know, whatever. It can understand what Path of Exile is, and it can understand what a subathon is, and I could be like come up with like 20 different things to add to like a punishment wheel or something like that, and it'll come up with, you know, 20 things, and if I don't like them, I could be like, hey, can you come up with 20 more things? It could do that, you know what I mean, pretty easily. You don't have to like take it word for word on anything, but you can get ideas. You know, it can save you a whole lot of time, a lot of effort, especially in matters that like people aren't necessarily scrutinizing, you know? Right. Yeah, you can definitely like, especially like within the context of a single conversation, you can get it to basically have like a certain thought process. You can get it to want to help you out in certain ways at the expense of being correct. Oh, for sure. The government will weaponize anything, though. You know, the government in the 60s rewired a cat to spy on the, or is the 70s, rewired a cat to spy on the Soviets. It was called Operation Acoustic Kitty. They will weaponize anything. I don't think that's necessarily a reason not to do it. In a lot of ways, um, they gave a bunch of people fucking LSD to try to get people to learn how to be like psychics and stuff like that, so that they could use that on like their enemies. I think that, you know, government entities are always pretty bad, and they're always ahead of the game too. Like anything that we do, anything that we're thinking about using, like the federal government or just any government, I shouldn't say just the federal government of like the United States. Other governments too are already trying to use it for weapons of war. Yeah, LSD backfired for sure. Now it's just something kids do for fun. Not just something people enjoy doing. It's coming back. It started to come back in like that there's like a microdosing fad going on for a while there. I think people are still into it maybe a little bit. I think maybe they moved on to mushrooms a little bit too. Second. Yeah, yeah. I think bots being used in chat's pretty much expected at this point. I had a bot in here the other day. Started to go wild. Started to ask all sorts of weird questions. Yeah, I didn't recognize it as a bot initially because I was like, why would I have a bot watching my PoE stream? But then it started to like lose its shit and ask like the same questions over and over again. Bruh. Bunch of crap. Let's go take it out on Zesht. Easy. I'm not farming anything specific, honestly. I mean, like, I'm hoping, you know, I'm just farming. I'm farming the tink noise, if I'm going to be honest with you. I've got this build pretty much where it needs to be. I'm not gonna like start any new builds before the end of the league. I did a campaign practice a couple days ago or earlier this week for Hollow Palm Monk. That was a lot of fun, but like I'm not necessarily looking to bring it to the end to bring it too much further. I just wanted to get some practice in, so we're just having fun, you know, hoping to hear something cool drop. Um, yeah, it looks decent. Looks decent. We're on PlayStation right now, so it could look better. I was just saying that like I picked up yesterday on Black Friday discount. I picked up a gaming PC, so for the next league we'll probably start on that. So you should look even better, hopefully. It definitely at least lag much less, I would say. We get some lag on occasion here. Let's see, we need 27 more. There we go. Alright, simulacrum time. But yeah, I'm really excited about the new PC pickup. Should be a whole lot of fun getting that set up. It's gonna be some. I gotta buy all the peripherals, desk, all the monitor. I need to find a monitor. Honestly, I'll probably skimp a little bit on the monitor and upgrade it later. I mean, like literally right now I play on like a 55-inch TV, so anything's gonna feel a little bit better than that. I feel like I actually get like whiplash having to like look back and forth across the screen at times. Like, a lot of times, honestly, when I play this game, since my screen is so big, I end up just like staring at my mini map and my health bar. That's why I put them both on the right side, is just so I can kind of like watch my mini map and watch my health bar, and then just like follow that. It's actually gonna be nice to be able to enjoy the full game. Yeah, I haven't really done any PC gaming for the most part since like 2010 probably, so it's gonna be really nice to switch back. And I have like a I've got a decent amount of experience, you know, building computers and everything, so I think that it'll be really fun to continue to upgrade as well. You know, start with the pre-built and just keep it up to date. Tell you what though, we need some more people making computer parts. Everything leaning on NVIDIA and AMD right now is actually kind of wild. Kind of surprised no one else has actually jumped into that market space, but I guess there's just not enough like product, not enough material, not enough product to jump in and be competitive. It's probably pretty hard. It's like trying to start a bank. Yeah, exactly. Buying up all the chips and everything, and like I feel like, you know, yeah, they're buying up all the chips, and that's why, like, you know, a lot of new cars and stuff like that were going up in prices, because they were trying to get like the same types of chips and everything that they're putting in like GPUs and stuff. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, YouTube is kind of, you know, I will say though, of all the big tech companies, I do like YouTube. YouTube is kind of like, I kind of stand for YouTube all the time. big fan of that YouTube Premium. I like it a whole lot more than like Twitch and other streaming platforms. And there's definitely no video platform. There's no video platform out there besides YouTube. If YouTube wanted to, they could become a bigger. They could simply just take more of a share of, like, the film and TV shows and stuff like that. They could just buy them if they really wanted to, but they don't need to. They make so much off of advertising for free content that people put up. True, no, it's true. They're definitely they're the only people in their market. It's definitely a benefit for them. Yeah, there's no alternative for YouTube. Even the other ones that are like kind of alternatives, because like I guess like there's no real alternative as far as like video hosting kind of stuff. But like there are alternatives for streaming, but like, you know, I feel like they're just as bad in most ways. You know, Twitch being like owned by Amazon, I think is a pretty big red flag in itself. There's no real competitor to Amazon either. The only competitor to like Amazon at this point as far as like buying things, you know, shopping, is just like, you know, the same retailers that have been around before. They're just hoping for people to want to buy stuff off of them instead of Amazon. They're just hoping. Like, it's like, you know, like I bought my PC through Best Buy. I probably could have gone through Amazon, but Best Buy had a slightly better deal. Oh, wait, no, not this one yet. Get out of here, homophobia. You've been showing up a lot. Yeah. Yeah, YouTube is really good for... Well, and especially compared to, like I said, like, if you want to do streaming and content, or even, like, if you want to mostly focus on streaming, if you want to mostly focus on streaming, I still feel like if you're new, you pretty much want to use YouTube over Twitch, because the discoverability on Twitch, just like you can see the discoverability on Twitch. How do you discover a new person on Twitch? Is like you have to type in, like, say if you wanted to do Path of Exile 2, you'd have to go to Path of Exile, you type in Path of Exile 2, and then you basically have to scroll all the way down to the bottom to find me, because I don't have, you know, if I didn't have a lot of people following me, right? And the only people that I'm going to be listed above are the people with less people following me. Whereas on YouTube, I can provide a video, and that video can get a lot of views just based on being something that people are interested in learning about. And then they can, you know, if I'm live when they watch the video, then it'll literally say, like, right next to my little icon that, you know, I'm live, and it gives me an opportunity for them to jump in and for them to discover me as a streamer as well. Or to find my channel and find other content, you know. Twitch is just like really impenetrable for like new discoverability, I feel like, unless you're playing just like the hottest game. If you're playing the latest hottest game constantly, and that just becomes honestly really expensive, and like variety streaming is also just difficult, and there's a lot of issues with trying to stream on Twitch. I tried to stream on Twitch for like months actually, and most of the time I wasn't streaming to literally anyone. There was a couple occasions where, yeah, yep. There was a couple occasions where I was playing. I think my best performing streams were when I had a long Monster Hunter Worlds arc. I just kept playing Monster Hunter Worlds every day, and occasionally I would get a raid, and that was like the best way that I could get people to discover me, more or less. That's pretty much what you're hoping for. But as a new person, you can't raid other people, so it's like it kind of doesn't like you can't reciprocate it. So it's kind of hard. You basically are just hoping somebody raids you, you know. You're just like, you're just like waiting every day, being like, streaming to Nightbot, thinking to yourself, man, I hope someone raids me today. Um, and you could like go into other people's chats and like talk to them, and like maybe that would boost your like, I don't know. I feel like just Twitch is just really kind of annoying to deal with. I did like it does have better community features like emotes and stuff like that, and but yeah, getting that initial discoverability is just very hit or miss. Mostly miss. It's mostly miss. But yeah, if I put out like a good video, I can get like, quite a number a good number of subscribers just off of like one good video. Right now, I'm kind of like on the back burner with a lot of video content just because we're at the end of the league. There's not like, I'm not sure if there's anyone who's like looking out there for too much content specific to like, I don't know. I don't know if people still have goals in this league, right? They're mostly just waiting for the new league. So I'm just kind of like waiting for news so that I could like respond to it or whatever, but once the new league starts, we'll start back into trying to make like guides and stuff like that for like farming and stuff like that. It's kind of what I end up doing the most, is just getting pretty good at farming and trying to help a lot of people with that type of information. I had a video idea for doing one about like kind of like loot theory, like going into like a lot of like a series on like different aspects of like why loot drops the way it does. And I started writing it out, but I just don't think there's enough people that would be watching it now as opposed to in just a few weeks. In a few weeks, that stuff will hit a lot harder. Okay, we got another closed home. Yay! No diamond. But yeah, I'm really looking forward for the at least for like the GGG live reveal and all that stuff, so we can start to have something else to make some videos on. Yeah, the next league, or I guess they call them seasons in like other games, but yeah. Once the new league pops off, like I guess next week they're gonna have the big reveal for the next league for Path of Exile 2. So they're gonna reveal all the new content that's gonna be in it. They're gonna drop the patch notes, and that's gonna be big content to farm, I guess you could call it. I guess those are the terms we use. Okay, let's get some more. Yeah, we're gonna have a new class and a couple. If we're gonna get the druid, we're gonna get some endgame changes. Yep. Yep. Yeah, RAM's going up in price. I think I saw like 32 gigabytes of RAM right now, and USD is over 200 and some bucks. It ain't going down, you know? Yeah, as soon as I started to see the prices going up for RAM, I saw like I was like looking at computers and stuff, and I saw an article about how all the prices of RAM right now are basically going for like market price, like it's expensive fish, like lobster goes for market price or whatever, and that now is like the time to like invest in one or you're going to kind of be left out. And I was like, yeah, I feel that. I think it's probably a good time to consider jumping into the PC market. Let's get some more of these. It's like a snooze. If you snooze, you lose. And like I said, I don't think that like I know it's like some people in the console world are like, hey, this is good news for us, but I don't think it is. I think the next consoles that come out are going to be insanely priced. Um, How many do I have? 14. God damn. So I need one more of these guys. What do we got? Yeah, no, it is cheaper right now to get a pre-built than purchase parts. Purchasing parts is way more expensive. Is like 20% more expensive or something. 15%, 20% more expensive. Oh, we can get rid of these. Okay, let's do. So these are. Oh yeah, yeah, and honestly, that ain't worth it. Like, I'm on a console right now. I've played console all my life, but it's certainly not worth paying that much for what a console offers. I guess like the like what people are hoping for is that like consoles in general they sell them at a loss. Um, they're supposedly they sell them at a loss. Um, so like that would be like, oh, maybe we will get a deal on our console because they're selling it at a loss, but I don't think it's going to be that much of a win for them, honestly. Oops, I messed up. Oh no, I did that right. Never mind. Yeah, console prices will go up. I'm sure like the Steam machine, I'm sure whatever the price they thought it was going to be, I'm sure that's going up. I'll be honest, I was looking at the Steam machine. I just, there's too many question marks about it for me. Um, yep. Yeah, it kind of has to in a way. I mean, shit, you also like if you just look like how about the Switch 2? The Switch 2 feels like it was outdated before it even hit the fucking market. It was born outdated. Everyone thought like the Switch 2 was going to be some like super. It was at least going to be like on par with some of the stuff that we have now. It's on par with last gen PCs and stuff, or last gen consoles. It's literally it's a fucking joke. Like if you want to play Mario Kart, more power to you. I'm not like talking shit on Mario Kart or anything, but like, you know. I'm not an expert, to be honest with you. I probably would not be the best person to ask. I would ask Rock. As funny as that is. Okay. See if I can get some. I am not the expert on parts. Most of the stuff that like I looked up all the parts that I had. Oh shit, that wasn't what I wanted to do. God damn. I think we're still okay. Yeah, we're okay. Let's see, 2 additional rare monsters. Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully they'll have good specs. I mean, like I wouldn't be surprised if a new PlayStation and a new Xbox cost, you know, $800. So they better have good specs. For what they're going to cost. Like, and you can imagine, like, with the costs going up and everything, you know, that's like, I know people are talking about, like, prices of games going up to, like, $80, $90, $100 over the next couple of years, so, which seems crazy. I'll steer clear of that market, to be honest with you. Oh, I hate seepage. Get seepage out of here. You know what? I'm actually going to use this guy. And then we're going to use some random ass map. It doesn't even matter. Some low quality shit. They really easy maps. Temporal chains. Ugh. Yeah, we'll do this one. And hit this. Boom, boom. Oh yeah, people are still gonna buy it. People are gonna buy it just because there's like sort of like a knowledge barrier with PCs. Like people feel like to buy a PC you can't just be like a, you know, I feel like people feel like you need to know more about them, and you do. You definitely do. Whereas like a console is plug and play, right? And we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Steam machine as well. I don't think it's going to be as big of a juggernaut as a lot of people are expecting. But if it's able, it doesn't have to compete with the current console market. It has to compete with the next generation of PCs. So like if it comes out and it's like $800, a lot of people are going to think twice about purchasing one currently. But I think if the new model comes out and like PlayStation comes out in like early 2027, let's just say, then I think that, or even late, but let's say it's early 2027, I think that you can actually end up seeing a lot of people potentially gravitating towards something like a Steam machine, because I do think that like the idea of Steam itself is popular. Like I think that like more people really do want to use there's so many like like viral popular games that they see on streaming that streamers play that are only available through Steam And I think that that's like an interestingly, like, something they don't think about enough. Like, I'm sure there's like a lot of people who want to play all these rage bait games that people play, like only up and stuff like that. You don't really have options to play stuff like that. To the point where they literally put only up in Expedition 33. They literally just put it in there as a side game. My main reason for not going for a Steam, not like looking into the Steam machine more before I purchased a PC was because I don't think the Steam machine is going to be good for actually streaming. I don't think it's going to have full capabilities. I think it's going to be kind of like the Steam Deck, where you have to have, there's like desktop mode and stuff like that you have to use, which isn't like ideal. It's kind of wonky. I think if they had a capability to do stuff like to stream more seamlessly, like on a console, but better. Like that's the thing, is like I would want more options. Then I would be like, okay, this is like if it had some sort of integrated OBS system. That would be a big sale. That'd be a huge sell for me. I'd be all over that. And if I wasn't streaming, I'd definitely probably be more considerate towards the Steam machine. And I'll be honest, I like the aesthetic of the Steam machine. I like how the little black box look. I think it looks cool. Yes. Yeah, you can just get Steam Client on PC. Yeah, you can just get Steam on PC, which is like more or less what I'm planning on doing. But like, and like the Steam machine, like I said, it's mostly is a PC, but like I don't know. There's a lot of question marks that still are out there about it. I think it's gonna be a good alternative to consoles for people who want to purchase more games, because you can purchase, because there's just more games available. You know, the idea of the exclusive game is mostly gone on console. If anything, there's more exclusive games that are exclusive to PC at this point, just because indie developers are not able to publish games as easily on console. It's more expensive. They actually need a direct publisher. They can't really self-publish as easily. What's this? What do we got? Bastille, Spiderwoods. Do Spiderwoods. Yeah, I think the Steam machine looks good. I can't wait till there's more information about it. I still feel like there's a lot of, you know, we got the specs, but the specs aren't like telling us too much about it. At least compared to like consoles, like where we actually have, like with consoles we already have, we've got them in practice. We know how they perform. They perform pretty well. So like we're gonna need to see some like actual like we're gonna need to get hands-on with the Steam machine before we really start to see it pop off as far as popularity, I think. Oh yeah, Omen of Light. Yeah, there's so many games on Steam. That's honestly like one of my big things about like, and like in some games like they bring them to console from PC, but they just don't perform as well because they're meant to be played with keyboard and mouse or something like that. Some games just perform better on PC because they were designed to be played on PC, you know. They're ported to console so that they can make some more money in the console market. Man, Omen of Light right out of the gate is nice. Yeah, that should be coming out in just a few months, though. It said early 2026. So I'm sure we'll get more information about it before it even drops, too. So I haven't watched any. I know that some people have. There are people who have reviewed it. I don't know how much they've actually played. You know what their involvement of actually like having experience like playing a lot of games on it is. I haven't really watched a lot of their videos. But I should actually sit down and do that at some point. Yeah, honestly, like if nice. Yeah, I think if you were to like if all things were equal between all the consoles out there, like say Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam Machine now, were all identical as far as like their graphical output and what they were capable of, I think that most people would gravitate towards Steam just because you can get more games. There's going to be some people that are going to gravitate towards Sony because Sony still does have exclusives, but I think that in a big way, like it definitely cuts into Xbox's market since they've went to the point where they don't no longer have exclusives. It was a good map. Like I don't know how Xbox is going to survive at this point. I don't think they're going to survive. I think they're going to switch over to trying to be more of a nice. Nice, good to know that that's good to go. Especially going into the new season, the new league. No upgrades required. Nope. One more of these guys. One more breach, and then we'll go kill the boss. This is really good. 2 Abyssal Echoes, Omen of Light, and a Perfect Exalt. If this was a month and a half ago, that'd be like a 10 div map. Now it's like a maybe a 3.5, 4 div map, but you know, there's nothing wrong with that. At this point, I don't really need anything though. You know, it's just we're just farming for the noise. We're farming the tink noise so that we can have a little bit of extra dopamine in our day. Okay. Might as well run. What's the... Ooh, Riverhold. I hate Riverhold, man. Riverhold's rough. The Umbral Wraith boss is tough. He's a tough guy. $60 spirit. Nice. But nothing else I need. Nothing else good there. One thing I'm hoping is they adjust some of these precursors. Like 5 to 20% on increased experience is just such a big swing. 5 is such garbage. No one's ever going to use any 5% experience gain. Yeah, yeah. We this build doesn't no longer needs anything. If I buy anything, it's like you know, like I could potentially buy a stronger bow, but like, do I need a stronger bow? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, do I need anything actually? No. No, at that point it would just be like increasing my numbers on my POB so that I could show off to other people, and I don't really care too much about that at this point. At this point, I will say it was really fun to make a build this strong. I've never made a build this strong. I made some strong builds. I made some, like, you know, strong meta builds before. But this one was by far the strongest, without a doubt. Oh, some lag. Just gotta make sure I don't die in the lag. Yeah, like 60% of everything dies off screen. The other stuff gets killed shortly after I enter the screen. Yeah, this build has been it's been a league-long, you know, pursuit, realistically. Everything I've added to this build has been through either crafting or from saving up from stuff that I dropped off the ground. I haven't done any, like, big profit crafting. I haven't done any currency exchange to make money like a lot of people. I'm just straight farming. Just farming the game as intended. Or so I think. My goal with each league is to make at least like one build that can basically complete all the content, basically do anything, you know, like that's a good farmer, a good pinnacle boss killer, you know, has good rarity, like it's kind of always my goal anyway. A lot of people like to make lots and lots of builds. I like to make one major build and then experiment with a couple others maybe. Though I will say that I really did enjoy that Hollow Palm Monk from earlier in the week. It was a lot of fun. It's definitely on my watch list for what build I might make. Might take into the next league. Depending on how bad the nerfs are and how good the buffs are for other builds. I don't mind it. I just feel like if I get one build that's like able to do a ton of stuff in the end game, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to like spend a lot of resources on another build to do the same stuff in the end game. Like if I have one build that clears all the maps and has like 150% rarity, there's no reason for me to have a second build that does that. It's just going to cost a whole lot of currency to do that. That said, I am looking forward to playing another build for next league. This one is past its expiration date, but it's definitely going to get nerfed into the ground. So I'm trying to enjoy it while it lasts. I'm enjoying it until they kill it for me. Yep, new content, new endgame stuff. I mean, hey, I didn't invent this build. This is definitely copied off of Fubgun's build, but yeah, it's definitely broken. Truth is that anything that guy makes, any build that guy designs is broken. He does like they need to they can't even it's funny because like you can't like follow him and just like nerf everything he does. At some point you're just gonna have to nerf him personally. You're just gonna have to like fucking ban him from the game because everything he does. And like I mentioned this before that like I think that like part of it is like his builds are really strong, But like I think other builds are pretty much just as strong. I think a big portion of why people follow his builds are because he's just really good at writing the builds out. Like I like how he presents a lot of the information. He basically has all the information from level 1 to level 98 with tons and tons of variants along the way. You know, basically every variant you can think of, depending on your budget, you know. I don't think they're going to nerf lightning as a whole, but they're going to nerf lightning arrow. Like if we look at the skill itself, like 40% of physical damage to lightning damage, 40% more chance of shock. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw those hit like 30%. They just hit that. And then with beam converts 100% damage, physical damage to lightning damage, chains 2 times. They could just bring those numbers down. It's kind of hard though because in my perspective, the build isn't. I really don't think there's anything that's being totally abused on this build. I think the most abused thing about it is like the constricting command helmet. And I think that it could use a little bit of a nerf to the DPS. But for the most part, like, I think most of its power comes from its speed because you can clear maps faster than other builds. But like, you can't take the speed away from it without like kind of without hurting the identity of the ranger. Like what's going to set the ranger apart from other builds if you don't have speed? Like it already doesn't have good defensive nodes, right? Like already, like, you know, they nerfed evasion this league already. They already did that. So like I'm squishy as hell. I'm at 30, just over 30, under 3,900 combined HP energy shield. So like, I'm not like some defensive juggernaut. Oh yeah, I think that what they're going to do I think they're going to nerf. I think it's going to get double tapped. I think we're going to end up with it's going to get taken down. So it's like, you know, 5 fewer enemies. I think that's going to drop to like 3 fewer enemies. And I think that the passive nodes that add boost to surrounding, I think those are going to get cut off by like 20. They're going to cut down by like 20% per node. So like if it gives a 25% boost, it's going to drop to like a 20% boost or a 15% boost when surrounded. It's going to get kicked really hard. It's also like, you know, other builds use it, so it's not just a nerf to this build, it's a nerf to other builds. Like there's a lot of builds that use the constricting command helmet. Like there's like the crossbow warrior was using the constricting command helmet. So it's like that's why it's like kind of funny to be like, yeah, they can. I feel like anything that they do to actually nerf this build is going to have unintended consequences, or not unintended, they're going to be known, but they're consequences that are going to hit other builds that don't necessarily have as many options to use. I think they will, but at the same time, like, I don't use the companion damage. Like, that's the thing about it, is like, you know, the FUB gun build has a bunch of different variants, and at one point you actually stop using the companion damage nodes. Like whenever you use constricting command, you basically get rid of those nodes for the surrounded nodes. You get rid of the companion damage nodes. Like you could still use them potentially. But you don't. But you should probably switch to the surrounded nodes because they're just stronger. So they could nerf it because a lot of people do use companion damage nodes. But I feel like that hurts a lot of other builds more than it hurts this build. At least not the top end of players on this build. Yeah. Yeah, like, and so like if you think about it, it's like, what really could they nerf about this build? Like they could nerf the numbers on lightning arrow and lightning rod. That's kind of what I'm looking at as like the main nerfs that they can do, which probably won't totally invalidate the build. Like I think it's still going to be able to be used as a build. It's definitely still going to be able to be used as a build in like leveling, like as far as getting through the campaign. Like people are still going to be using lightning arrow to get through the campaign, I think. Tornado, yeah, but like I could not use Tornado and still clear all the pinnacles. Like it's not required. Like I don't see necessarily huge changes coming to Tornado. I mean, like mostly what we're using Tornado for is just to multiply the number of arrows we shoot, and like, you know, like we get our arrow, like the arrow, like in getting shooting a lot of arrows, I feel like is kind of part of the identity of the Ranger, right? Like we are the arrow build. So like shooting 5, 6, 7, 8 arrows, I don't think it's like to me it's not like a problem. I don't foresee that as like something that like is needing a nerf so much as just bringing the DPS in line, because like the real issue I would say is that I'd say the real issue is that we are able as Deadeyes we're able to clear content, specifically maps, way faster than other builds. Other builds can out DPS us with bosses. They absolutely can. Like the Spark Blood Mage, absolutely out DPSs us. The if you've seen the cast on, there's like cast on crit, cast on ailment, Comet build. It does like 25 million damage, can like kill Arbiter in 2 shots. Out DPSs us entirely. They have to bring down our ability to clear maps, because I think that's where it kind of like the Ranger can effectively be a bully to the economy, because we can clear maps twice as fast as other builds. And you don't really want to bring the speed down, so you kind of want to bring down the DPS so that it just takes longer for us to clear the content, I think. And I think a lot of that's going to come in the way of Lightning Arrow just taking a straight up damage nerf. In the same way that Spark in 0-1 just took a straight up damage nerf. But like Spark also got tapped because it was using like a bunch of different what is it, like uniques, but like we're not using a lot of uniques that other than constricting command, like, and we use Headhunter, but everyone uses Headhunter. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some of the support gems take a little bit of nerf. Like I don't know by how much, but like I could imagine some of these might take a little bit of a nerf. But like for instance, like Nova, it's like I don't know how you would nerf it. It already does 40% less damage than like Fork, and if they were to nerf Nova so it's not used, people would just use Fork. You know? Maybe Elemental Armament is too strong because we use it on everything. Pretty much everything gets Elemental Armament. Yeah, I don't know. I think that like I think it's gonna get nerfed. Like I'm not saying it's not gonna get absolutely destroyed. I'm sure they're looking at things like, hey, we want to destroy this build. If nothing else, so that people play other builds. Like that would be like if they do stuff to egregiously nerf it beyond like what is necessary. I think that's likely just because they want people to play other builds, and that's totally understandable. But like, to me, I think the problem is more or less the fact that there's so many underperforming builds that need buffed. You know, there's entire classes and ascendancies that have no place in the entire game because they're just not strong enough or fast enough. I'd like to see things like chaos damage get major buffs. Because, like, you know, you've got Cheula Monk and you've got Lich. Lich is, like, good for minions. But, like, I feel like that build should be, like, the prime, like, chaos damage build. But, like, you know, there's just nothing good enough as far as chaos damage that makes it worth it. And I feel like people have been asking for Hex Blast to get buffed since the beginning of early access. Cheula Monk, obviously, like like I feel like they've given it like tiny buffs with the most recent league, but not enough. Yep, Warriors too. Warriors need buffed. And that's my thing, is like I think if all these builds got buffed to the degree that they deserve to be buffed, it would not be as big of a deal to nerf this build. But if you nerf this build, or nerf the overperforming builds and don't give people options, you know, I don't think it puts I don't think it actually improves the build variety, you know? Like what this game I think needs to improve the build variety is to make the underutilized classes better, not make the overutilized classes worse. Because like people want to play other builds. Like I want to play other builds. I like this build, but like if you told me that there was like a really good Chaos Lich that wasn't slow as hell, I'd play that over this any day. You know, but like for all intents and purposes, everyone who plays any level of Chaos Lich, it's ED Contagion, it's all ED Contagion, and once you get to like endgame maps, it's pretty slow. It's decently safe because you can stack shit tons of energy shield, but it's pretty slow. Yep. Yeah, there's smart gamers out there, and you know, you can't find me an ARPG where the concept isn't to find the strongest build and blast through the game. They don't exist. That's been the concept of how to play ARPGs since Diablo, right? Since like the first one, realistically, especially since Diablo 2. People will always find a way to make an absolute juggernaut of a build. They do it in, you know, there's not a ton of ARPGs out there that are super popular, but it happens every league with in every game. And they always nerf it. And there's always something that either replaces it. There's always something that replaces it in the next league. So, I mean, and there's going to be a lot of things, and especially in the leagues where they add, oh man, I played Lord of Destruction, for years, whenever it came out. I was like 12. I played that shit for years. Honestly, like, my favorite thing about, I like to play, PvP when I was younger. Loved making PvP builds. Just standing out in the Bloodmoor and fighting people. That was my jam. I like PvP. It was kind of like a second, you know, like in Diablo 2 you didn't really have you didn't have an end game, right? Like anything that you did to farm was all done within the context of the campaign. So like PvP kind of was the end game, realistically. At least in my opinion. Yep, Blizzard always nerfs. And that's the other thing is like, you know, Blizzard nerfs things, and in a lot of ways, like there's a few outlier performing builds, but then everything else performs at like the same kind of boring level. And people don't play those builds. And people don't like Diablo 4. You know what I mean? So it's like, do you want, like, I'm not sure if they want to go in that direction to the point where they nerf everything to the point where everything performs similarly, because then you'll have one or two overperforming builds like you do now. It's always like, it's kind of always the same. You know, balance is almost like is like not even like it's almost like you don't actually want balance, you know? Like you can only balance things so much. But it would be cool if we can get some chaos and some fire damage. I'd like fire damage just in general, ignite and fire damage, just to take like get some massive buffs this league. Is that a corruption? Amelioration. Guess we can go to this checkpoint and just check down. But yeah, it's funny. I feel like the new Druid build is going to perform similarly to the Lord of Destruction Druid. I think you're going to have like wolves and ravens for your companions. And I think you're going to shapeshift into a bear, a wolf, and like one other thing that probably wasn't in Lord of Destruction. And then you're going to have like your environmental magic. You're like you have your volcano. Like, and I feel like a lot of the stuff that they brought in for last league, or for the current league, the one we're playing now, was actually intended for Druid. Like some of those like things that the warrior got that were like fire fissures and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of that stuff is stuff that was maybe better intended for the Druid, because the Druid has a little bit closer access to some fire nodes that do like extra fissures and stuff like that. So like it'll be interesting once we get that reveal next week, next Thursday. Switch over to Fork. Oh yeah, he loves PoE 1. But, you know, he's also criticizing the shit out of the current league as well. He doesn't... There's a lot of things he's not enjoying, it seems like. I don't criticize PoE 1 too much because I don't really play it, but... it definitely seems like they're having their own issues with, like, with loot. I tried to play PoE 1 on League Start. Just couldn't get into it. It was definitely a me thing too. Like, it was definitely just based off of like I couldn't get into it because like there's just certain things that like I didn't, you know, have the knowledge of, and like basic stuff like when do I get certain skill gems, when do I get certain support gems and things like that, and like if I, you know, having to like look that stuff up like on a pretty regular basis was just kind of annoying to me. I much prefer like the skill system in here with the engraved gems, and I like the socket system better in this game. I know that they like it better in PoE 1, but I think it just feels better in PoE 2. I think both games have a knowledge barrier, but PoE 1's is just very obviously higher. But the game itself isn't harder. Like, at no point did I feel like I was ever in danger of dying. You could just tank everything. Like, when it came to actually, like, the combative part of the game, I felt like it was really easy. I mean, it's not terrible other than the mana per enemy killed, like, and the fire damage being low, but 2 additional arrows is nice. Don't see that every day. But yeah, I think the druid's gonna be cool. But I think like it's gonna be interesting because I think we're gonna see basically every build shapeshift now. Because it's not gonna be tied to just the druid, everyone is going to be able to shapeshift. So that'll be fun, kind of interesting. It'll be interesting to see what the druid has within its ascendancies that set it apart. It's got to have some cool stuff in there to really get people. I mean, people are gonna play it anyway. Let's be honest. But hopefully, it has some stuff to really make it super powerful. You know, we got Christmas coming up after that, so I feel like a lot of stuff, even if it's like super overpowered, it ain't gonna get fixed this league. They're gonna leave for 3 weeks for Christmas. Then they're gonna come back and start working on PoE 1, and anything that's broken is just gonna stay broken. It's actually kind of crazy that PoE 1 isn't getting or hasn't got yet a 3.27.1 update, like how we have a 0.3.1 update. I'll be interested to see if they get one at all though. Oh, look at that, perfect exalt, nice. Let's go. Yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah, I played a little bit of the first, and it was kind of hard in that regard, how it looked. Um, I'll be honest, like I'm running the Delirium on every map, and which puts all sorts of fog all over it. The game looks even better and performs better without all that fog there. Like all that gray fog and everything, like that's something that you can add on to the maps. If you don't add that on, it plays better and looks a million times better, in my opinion. But you put it on there because it adds more monsters and adds more rarity and stuff. It's actually one of the bigger complaints. People want to be able to like tone the fog back a little bit because of how because of the performance and because of how it looks. Whenever I play a map without the Delirium fog, it's actually kind of like refreshing, just visually. Forget how good the game actually looks sometimes. At the end, after I finish this set of maps, I'll run one without Delirium if you're still here, if you wanted to see it. But yeah, it's looks way better. I'll be honest, I didn't think that PoE 1 looked as bad as like a lot of people say, but it definitely does not look as good. Like, it's like pretty inarguable. No, it defines the destiny. Ooh. Hey, nice. Divine and a perfect exalt on one map. Yeah, and also this game definitely does look better on, performs a lot better on PC in general. I don't think the console's bad. It's definitely serviceable. It's not like it's like crashing or anything like that, but PC definitely has a bit of an advantage. Okay, no more monsters. Cleaned. Wish I would have found that Covetous Shrine earlier. Let's just go for the divines.
All right, your order is registered.
150 should be like, yeah.
All right, your order is registered.
Cool. Where to go? Hate dig site. Gold map ain't good. I'll do Willow. Kinda like Willow. Not my most profitable map, but not a bad one. Good layout. Good, simple layout. Did I wonder, one thing I've been wondering is, like, you know, whenever they first made the... Oh, look at that. Nice. Okay, early on. When they first made the changes to the towers, they removed the rare monster icons from maps, and a lot of people were very upset about that. A lot of people complained about that, but I'm not sure if people are still complaining about that. Or if maybe just people aren't playing as much, so there's not as many people complaining about that. I'll be interested to see if they decide to make any changes to that aspect. I personally don't think it needs it. I was definitely annoyed with it at first, but if your build clears fast enough, it doesn't matter. But if your build is slow, then I could see why you would want it. shit right into the boss fucking place. Right, I should have killed the boss first. Boo me. Whatever, we already got our divine out of the map. Ah, a little lag. Okay. Shit, Abyss. Okay, yeah. Yeah, whenever you have like the Delirium, the Abyss, the Breach is all crossing over. Yeah, I mean, that's just a recipe for disaster as far as for performance goes, especially for PlayStation or console in general. But I don't think there's too much you can do about that. That's just a lot of action going on. Okay, let's go into the Abyssal Depth. This set of 10 maps is doing pretty good for Divines so far. I think we're like 6 or 7 Divine in. One day they will decide to let Ancient Bones drop again in this game. One day. I don't know when that day is. It's probably not today though. Okay, this map is pretty clean. Cleaned all the meat off the bone here. Just a few random pieces of litter. Yeah. Yep. Those maps tend to be the big open ones with all the delirium fog and the breaches. Yeah, they get laggy. Like I said, I'll be really looking forward to switching over to PC soon. Mineshaft. I'll do Spiderwood. Let's go drop some stuff off at the... Yeah, these maps can be pretty laggy. See, right there. Just shooting one random or lightning rod lagged it a little bit. Ritual tablet. Ritual tablets are like worth like 30 plus. Just the unique ones, which are pretty common, are worth like over 30 chaos. It's good money. Like a regular ritual tablet, any affixes right now, I think is going for at least a div, which is crazy as fuck. And I think the only reason people are doing that is to Like, I think what people are doing, I thought they were farming omens, but I actually don't think so. I think what they're farming is more ritual tablets. You know, there's a delirium that puts more precursors on a map. I think they're just like using a ritual tablet and then hoping for more ritual tablets because they sell for a divine or more. Kind of funny. Because like I feel like omens have too much RNG to actually show up. Like if they get a good omen out of it, then that's just like almost like bonus, like a fucking icing on the cake. Oh yeah, no, I sell. Anytime I get a ritual tablet, it sells within seconds. It's big money. I've dropped like what 2 of the unique ritual tablets. That's gonna be like almost a divine in itself, and those are the least the least wanted ritual tablets. Cool Max invitation. We'll fight Kulamac after this. Maybe we'll get another Timeless Jewel. Still chasing that rush from last, was it a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago, where I got 2 Timeless Jewels in 2 back-to-back encounters. That was great. Okay, now we are, where are we at? Spiderwood, okay. Still got a breach in this map, at least one right now. Get out of here, Kosis, no one likes you. God, I hate Shroud walking. Just makes me feel like I'm having a bit of an aneurysm whenever I'm just like darting across the map like that. Okay, fucking root grasp. Alright, let's go down to this area where I missed some monsters. Okay, are the 50 monsters in the room with us? The Timeless Jewels, it basically switches what it does depending on where you put it, right? So, I think the main thing that people use it for is if you put it in like a specific spot, it basically boosts like a lot of energy shield, maximum energy shield. So I think that's what most people use it for. I haven't needed to use it, but I've seen a lot of people use it. I think there's other things that you can get them to boost though. The most popular one is I think it's a time like the different timeless jewel that you get from Kulamac. It can drop with like different names on it, different like I don't know entity names, And the most popular one is Tech Rod. So what I try to do is, if I don't get a Tech Rod, I'm not gonna like corrupt it or anything like that. But like, I just sell them raw usually. Like the regular ones, like they usually go for like I think 2 divine, just raw. If they're not a Tech Rod, and I think if they are a Tech Rod, they go for like 5 to 7 or something like that. I think the Tech Rod is the one that people use to boost their energy shield though. It was funny. I remember I was in a guild earlier in this league and last league in 0-1 for I was in a guild for like pretty much since the beginning of the early access. Um, and I was the first person in my guild to get this timeless jewel, and I was like, I remember I was on like late at night, and I was like, does anyone know what this does? And everyone kind of like ignored me. I was like, guys, I got this cool thing. Does anyone know? Does anyone know? Um, I was like, whatever, and I ended up selling it for like 9 divine or some shit like that. It was like 2 days into the league. I love getting ahead early and just finding the new stuff before other people find it. A lot of fun. I hope this guy sticks around in the game, but I hope they make him harder. I really hope that they actually buff the shit out of this guy. He's such a cool design to be so weak. Nope, no timeless jewel. Oh! He actually got an attack off. Look at that. I almost got thumped by that. That would have been embarrassing. Yeah, it's called the Undead Hate Timeless Jewel. If I remember correctly. If I remember correctly, people were putting it like here, I think, to get the benefit of the energy shield boost. If I remember correctly. I don't necessarily remember because I never used it myself. Just sold a bunch of them this league. I sold like 5 of them. How many more we got? We got 3 more. 3 more maps. Okay. Let's see. I mean, that's decent. Is that a tier 1? Yeah. Give me good. No, life regen. Yep. Yeah, no, pretty much anything I don't use, I just sell it. I don't... As quickly as possible. Let's see, slick. Let's do this slick. I like slick maps. What do we got here? 8 hours ago. 350. Man. Is that good though? I feel like that's not that good. No, I think that's being churched up. Too cool for school. Let's go. Jeez, they keep dropping depths on me. They want to extend the amount of time I'm in these goddamn maps. Just go around this one real quick and clear it, and then we'll go and do the depths after. So should... Nice. Yeah, I bought a Rocky. The Rocky Autos I use, I bought like super early into the league before it got like super costly. I think I paid 12 div for it, like after day 3 or 4, probably like 3 days into the league. Then it boosted and it went up to 20 div, and I dropped 2 of them. I've dropped 2 Rocky Autos this league. Not farming either, just running occasional Jade Isles. Sold them both for like 24 div. Fucking love the Gloom Shrine. You know, I guess there is... I was gonna say, I kind of forgot about it, but there is a... I guess there's a build around the... What is it? The Gloom Hand or whatever it is? The Palm of the Dreamer, that's what it's called. That's like a chaos damage build. I've never actually looked into that build though. I don't know how good it is. I know the Palm of the Dreamer gets very expensive. I'd be interested in that. Maybe I could consider running something like that next league. Whoa, bro. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Calm down, big bro. So he just came at me. I'll take chaos. Okay. Let's go do that depths. Go this way. Time is at 10:40. I never go right first. Let's go right first. Ah, fucking dead end. The one. That's the one heavy belt we need. That's gonna be the one that gives us our 5th headhunter. Still no ancient bone, guys. Oh, I have a chance orb right here. Nope, not the headhunter. It wasn't meant to be. Cool. There's 2 maps left. Ornate, Crypt, Blooming Fields. Do these 2 and then we'll run the, what is that? Sinking Spire. We'll run it with a Grand Project on it. Okay. Part of me hates this map for no reason, just because of how many times I ran it before they fixed the Undying Crowbell bug, and having it like brick them out. So like I just avoid it just out of like fucking like it's just my nature to avoid it at this point. Just fucking deal with them already. Get over here, Crowbell, you stupid bish. Go in here and wait for him. Clear the rest of the map nice and easy. Should get your fractured mirrors. Okay, I think that's gonna be it for the map. Okay. All these gold maps, damn. Tons of gold maps and shitty experience maps. Hey, what's up, Spoon? How you doing today? Where are we at with our 76? Where are we at with our breach splinters? 161. Okay. Yeah, no, they definitely a good guide, you know. Was saying earlier, a lot of people think that his builds are popular just because they're overpowered. I don't think it's just that they're overpowered. His guides are just really good. He explains things really well, down to the smallest detail, level by level. He makes them, you know, mistake-proof almost. Yeah. Yep, there's a reason why his guides are so popular. They work. You know, it's one reason, like, oh, for sure. Yeah, having the passive tree set up right and your like your support gems, like having the right support gems and the right passives, you know, it's like half the battle. Like equipment is like how you take them into like, you know, so you make them fucking you know, so strong and overpowered, but you can get pretty far just with the passive tree and the support gems in the right spot. I remember like my first build that I did, doing like, I don't know, like 100k damage, and like I didn't really know exactly what I was doing, and then I had someone help me. Like she was like, no, use these support gems here, here, and here, and it like tripled my damage immediately. And I was like, oh, these support gems do matter. These passive. Nice. Invoker shield wall. Yeah, I've heard shield wall is really strong. I've heard it's like crazy strong. And it's like really strong pretty much from like from like early campaign all the way through. As long as you have a good shield. Nice, yeah, I've seen that build as well. Yeah, I hope we get some further buffs towards chaos stuff in general. I feel like they're really strong. They're decently strong now. They're just kind of slow as far as like the overall clear speed on them compared to like things like this. which it's a shame to compare everything to this, but it is the standard at this point.
Itching for me to lose another limb, are ya?
Artifacts. I don't want artifacts.
That should make things interesting.
Okay, we'll try that. Give me something good. Let's try this one. Nope. Okay, let's do the depths. I'll finish up with the last map. Or the tower, I should say. Tower map. And we'll do some zest or something to finish up. Yep, lag, little random lag. Come on. Catch up game. That lag must mean there's something good in here. Get 'em, kitties. It will be sad to see this build go into standard, but also get nerfed into the ground, honestly. I feel like I'm not sure if we'll ever have I'll ever have a build this strong again. I mean, I probably will, but this definitely feels like such like a completely finished up build. But hey, we get to start to work on a new one soon. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to start a new build and min-max it into the dirt. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's get our map. Whatever. And we're gonna get our this guy. Right into Sinking Spire. I feel like Sinking Spire is the hardest map, mostly because Blackjaw is a boss in that like tight space, and that he can like activate other minions. It's just kind of ridiculous. It's definitely a problem with controller, is that like a lot of times it will target the minions instead of him. Also, let's just take a second to admire how much better the game looks without the delirium. Like, look at this. Look, you can see the depth and all the foliage and everything. You can see, oh my god, like it looks so much better. Performs better. Everything about it is better. The darks feel darker. The fucking bright shit feels brighter. Like the abyss doesn't make the fucking game just die. Just like, I mean, it's still a little laggy, but nice. Yeah, the shield wall definitely looks pretty solid from what I've seen. especially for it seems like it gives I've seen people play it with warrior, and it seems like it at least gives the warrior some variety. There's not a lot of good stuff going on for warrior. In fact, we're not even going to play with the map up because it looks so much better without the delirium. We're going to really enjoy this little map. That chaos. There's our checkpoint. Just everything just boom. Okay. Okay, so he's on this side. We'll go to this side first. Make sure there's nothing to clear. I can't remember. Is there nothing to ever to clear on these maps? Besides him, I guess? Yeah, I guess normally I'm running like delirium. Oh. Let's just fuck him up with deliberation. You see how I targeted that minion first, though, whenever I was standing right in front of him, though? That's terrifying whenever he's coming at you with the hammer. But, like, his minion pops up, like, 10 feet away, and I'm like, kill the minion! Okay, let's see what we got for the next stream. See what we opened up here. All right, nothing. Oh, we got. I do like me some deserted. We've got at least 2. And a savannah, which I like. I like savannas. I like pronouncing it as savannah because it's funny to me. That's not too bad, and we could always go. Wait, is there no way to get there? Oh my God, there's no way to get there except for across the. Oh my gosh. All right, that's not too bad though. We've got a couple deserted. We got a savannah. We've got spring. I like these maps. These are good maps. So let's see. What do we got? Let's do some Zesh to finish up. You need 118. Oh man. Okay, so we need 26. $299. Yeah, that's definitely like one thing that's worse about controller is the fact that you kind of target the minions and stuff. It also is a big pain in the ass for Olroth. It's definitely a worse pain in the ass for Olroth because he's so much stronger and more erratic, especially like whenever the minions come up in his second phase. Can be quite brutal. Alright, let's do 2 Zeshts. Yeah, pretty good. It's also funny because like when I shot at the minion, like it's not like my arrows spread and one of them hit the minion. It literally like they like narrowed and all went after the minion and ignored Blackjaw. Like what the hell? I'm shooting 5 arrows. Can at least not one hit Blackjaw instead? Or like, you know, I'd realistically go want like 2, but 3 more. I mean, realistically 4. 4 should hit Blackjaw, but you know, they should like prioritize like targeting the biggest threat, the biggest closest threat, because that enemy was both less of a threat and further away. It doesn't make sense for it to prioritize that one. Maybe Zesh will actually drop something good for us. I did drop a 6-div diamond from him yesterday, so I can't complain too much. Actually, I didn't drop a 6-div diamond, I dropped a shitty diamond, and I reforged it with 2 other ones that I had already gotten. That's how I got a 6-div diamond, but still. Close enough. We'll give him the W for that. Easy money. They did spawn that attack in a spot that I didn't like, but can't have everything. Oh, the garment. Thank you so much. It's not, I'm not even taking it back with me. I'm not taking that skin back with me. Okay, we'll run one more. Realm gate. Boom. Is it the one thing I was thinking about earlier in the league is when I was making this build was like I kind of wanted to get the microtransaction, the cosmetic for changing the color, the skill of the skill, so it was like the yellow white lightning kind of thing. But then it like came over me that I was like, oh yeah, this build's gonna get nerfed into the ground. I'll probably never play this build again. Why would I buy this MTX for lightning arrow? It's kind of a funny thing that they sell MTX for certain skills that are definitely going to get nerfed into the dirt. They should just take those products off the market. Or they should have like a little disclaimer. Living on the edge. I liked how in the first, in 0.1, how you could go all the way to Zesh without starting the hand, without starting the breach, and then you'd get to Zesh chambers and you'd be invisible, and you could fight invisible Zesh. That was kind of cool. Oh damn, we got the double projectiles here. We got the double projectiles. Bro is fucked. I want to fight the big hand. Bunch of crap. Alright. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna end stream there today. Hope everyone has a great rest of their night. Hopefully, if you're, celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow, hopefully you have a very good Thanksgiving. I might stream tomorrow, maybe, maybe not. We'll see how much of a turkey coma I am in. If not, I'll see everyone Friday. Alright?